Hello all. All right. When I last left you, I had just gotten these two new tasks to buy Don Lorenzo's company and then connect Paris to Le Mans. So here's Paris. Don Lorenzo only owns a company that connects these two. This is his entire line, from what I can tell, which is not very extravagant at all. But I'm just about finished with buying his company up. As you can see, I already own 90%, so I just got about 10%, which, let's see how much. So 95%. So I'm just about to buy it. I wanted to go ahead and start the video so you can see the purchase, and then we will do the next task, which is to connect to Paris. Now we're actually making pretty good time on these tasks, like 1881, or 1880 to buy Don Lorenzo's company, and then 1881 to connect to Le Mans de Paris. We're already at 1877. We're just about to finish this, so it's actually we're doing quite well on time for all of these tasks. Let's see. Oh, not quite yet. Almost there. 2% left, and I will own his company. As crappy of a company as it is. He has one rail line, 163 miles. I don't know how it could be worth 1.4 million francs, but as you can see, my company has 4,000 miles of track, 41 trains, so we're doing quite well. Let's see. All right, so I'm now in possession of 100% of his shares. Of course, 0 shares and 0 cash were transferred to me. Blah, blah, blah.
Ha! The passage is clear, and we can care about the big questions of this republic soon.
All right, so now it will allow me to connect Paris to Le Mans. Now in this case, Paris just has the single line, which is kind of a crappy train station. I don't even know why they have that. So I am going to, will it let me build? Oh, yeah. Okay, so it gave me access to this territory, which, to be honest, isn't very much, but there are olives there. Olives, wine, Paris, and wheat. That's what it gave me access to. But I'm excited because, like I said, it actually has given me access to olives. So the olives, in all reality, the olives are going to be the most important thing at this point. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a warehouse. I'm not going to build it now because I don't have enough money for building that. I'm also going to demolish. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to merge his company with mine, but I'm just going to liquidate everything.
One day you'll turn around and I'll be right behind you.
And then now I can go ahead and build my train station. Since he actually had 1.4 million, I'm going to take that and build a large station right away. With signaling, because I do like signaling. And I'm also going to build a warehouse over here. I'm going to go ahead and make a big warehouse. We'll probably, let's see, I'll probably do it like this because we'll probably run it into Paris. Let's see, what's the best way to, I don't know. We'll do it like that. It's connected to the olives. We'll run it into Paris. But for now, well, yes, I know how to do warehouses. We'll construct our maintenance building here as well. Now for this warehouse, I'm going to go ahead and obviously olives and wine. Where was our wine? So we're going to put olives and wine in there because those are the two things that are right there. I might even run wheat into it. It's up here. I don't think it'll hurt to run wheat. We have access to it. If I can find the wheat, that is. There we go. All right, let's get these all pumped up. Now I'm going to do this little trick that I like to do where I run a train out and in. just to feed the warehouse of olives because I want it to hold more than 19 olives. I want it to hold the whole thing, so I'm going to do a little trick you guys shall see. And for now, let's go ahead and connect this into Paris. Just going to run it into this line here. And we'll run it right back. Put our signaling in. Alright, I won't worry about running it back in for now. I'm going to go ahead and connect Paris up to our main line. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually connect it up to Le Havre up here. Let's see, how do I have that hooked up? So I'm going to run this out like that. Maybe to there, and then down to there. I think that's the way I'm going to do it.
Très bien. Now, as Paris is reached, I have conceived an infrastructural plan which will finally delight the French for the Republic. So, first of all, you should...
Oh, no, not so fast with your political agenda, Mr. Fresinet. We have to strengthen the railway network at the eastern border. Or what do you think, why Prussia has won the last war?
I have a different view on the situation than our dear General, but in the end, you have to decide. So, how do you wish to proceed?
So, support Freycinet's plan or Boulanger's plan? Oh, I do like Boulanger. Access to the Central Val de Loire or Burgundy. Now, do we have to... That's interesting. Do we have to do both or one or the other? Okay. All right, before I get into that, I'm going to make a an industry here. Since we have the dairy so close, I'm going to go ahead and build a fromagerie, or a cheese factory, which is in French is called a fromagerie, and it's going to make soft cheeses. Because that way we can bring in the dairy from here over there and make some delicious, delicious cheeses such as Epoisse. Alright, let's put in a supply tower. Stick it somewhere in the middle there. And let's stick a couple of trains on our new line. I'll go ahead and run mixed because these will carry both. It's going to go between Paris and Le Havre. And then we'll do another one. It goes Le Havre to Paris. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and run wine and the wheat into this warehouse. So let's build a couple of small stations. Actually, let's build this one first. I typically like to build, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put both there. But I often like to build the longest line first. So I think we will go ahead and just go straight up into that one, of course. Let's do it like that. It's a little costly because it's going over the river. Let's go around the river so it cuts the cost. There we go. Let's build our... Alright, so let's start Let's put, since this case it's just freight, we'll pick the best freight train that we have, which is the west, from there to there. Make it full, and I'm going to put 4 trains on this line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now we can go ahead and connect our winery up. Oh, except I don't have enough money because it's going through this little dip in the valley. I'm not going to try to fix that, so I'm going to leave the bridges up. I'll just wait till I have enough money. At this point, I am doing pretty well on money, so it won't take me very long to get that. Put a supply tower in there, and probably a supply tower over there. Let's take a look at these trains, see what they're doing. So that's basically passengers and mail, and that is mail with some bread. So taking bread up to Le Havre. So things are good there. Now olives, I'm glad we have olives. Now these 2 tasks, it's really just 2 tasks that are left. I don't know if they'll assign new tasks or if that's what we need to do. So in this case, we've only got till 1882 to gain access. So let's take a look at while I wait on that, let's look at the areas. This is Picardy. This is not what we need. Trying to get my... Okay, so this is Burgundy. Burgundy is actually only 600,000, and since it's right there, it's only 600,000 to get into Burgundy. That's not an unreasonable task. What was the other task? Was it the Central Val? Yeah, the Central Val. So we could go into Burgundy for 600,000. That meets one of the tasks. We can go into the Central Val. That meets the other task for 851,000. So really, I guess the question now is, will we be able to make enough money to meet that? Considering that the tasks don't need to be done until 1882, it's only 1878 at this point, and we're making pretty decent money, I think that's going to be no problem. So let's go ahead and finish building our line, bring in some wine into this warehouse. Don't want it to be goofy. There we go. Alright, so we got that. Build our maintenance building, put a couple of trains there. Again, since it's just freight, I'm going to use the freight train west to Mochon Farm, to the warehouse. Fill it up, and I'll probably put 3 trains there. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, just barely got the 3rd one in. Okay, so we've got that. Alright, so now our warehouse is starting to fill up. We've got wheat, we've got olives, we've got wine coming in, all the good stuff that it needs. So now I can run a train, and again, it's going to be a freight, because it's only going to carry freight from the warehouse to Paris. And we will let it choose what it wants to bring. Then we will get another freight train. And this one I'm going to run from the warehouse up to Le Havre. And let it choose what it wants. Of course, in this case, it's just taking lots and lots of wheat up. It's all good, because eventually they can get some wine too. As a matter of fact, I might go ahead and just duplicate these trains for now. I'll clone them. Oh, this is the one going to Le Havre. I'll clone that one as well. Let's see what they're taking now. Oh, it's still taking wheat to Paris. And this is still taking wheat to Le Havre. That's okay. Eventually they will catch up, and they will start taking other items as well. Now, one of the things I was going to do is I was going to run olives out and in, and this is a kind of a trick that I like to do. I suppose it's not terribly necessary at this point, but I sort of feel like it would be an easy way to build up our supplies, and then eventually those olives will be in great demand. So I am going to set it up like this, I think. And we are going to run it like this. And then I'm going to run it to the back here. Oh, I don't want that craziness. Let's see. There we go. That's a nice clean route. Let's put in some signals. So in this case, I want it to head in that way. And then I want it to come out the other way. There we go. Perfect. And we're going to go here into the warehouse. And I'm going to actually I'm just going to put 2 trains right now. And what it's going to do, it's essentially going to take it from the farm into the warehouse. Although the warehouse has access to the olives, it doesn't store them up. Whereas in this, the way I've got it situated now, and I'm actually bringing it in from the farm by train, it'll store those olives, so it still has access to what the farm has available, but it also starts to build up our reserve, and it will actually fill them all the way up to 99 plus whatever the farm makes. So we can actually get beyond 100 in this case. And it's just it's 2 little trains that go back and forth, and then we'll just load up the warehouse. And this is important because eventually we are going to feed Le Mans. And I might even, let's see. Now in this case I do have this break, so because what I was thinking is eventually I'm going to run a train from Le Mans to Paris. And we're going to go like that. We're going to see if we can jump over the tracks like that. We're going to give it its own line. That's it's a bit expensive, isn't it? Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit, maybe get rid of some of the bridges and tunnels. I'm a little, that doesn't really help me at all. I think that is going to be fine. I don't want to take out this too much, so we're going to leave it like that. I wonder if I take that. I'm just trying to play around with it, see if I can get any better angles, but I think that's going to be fine. I'll leave it like that, 500,000. I'll have a connection to Paris. But the other more important thing is I will have connection to these olives. And that's really what I want to get at. I want to get those olives. Precious, precious olives. Get them to Le Mans. Get them to Nantes, and Nantes wants them to make olive oil. Of course, if I could get access to See, this is potations. It's got olives, but it's not one of them that I want, and it's really expensive. So I'm gonna wait and try to get this one here, this Central Val de Loire, 800,000, or possibly, where was it at? Burgundy, which is here, for 600,000. Has access to Dijon. Dijon is the only city in that area, so. But who doesn't like to go to Dijon? They have delicious mustards. Or as the French would say, moutarde. Okay, all right. Let's just. I'm just like all over the place. It's basically I'm waiting to make some money so I can build this line. So I can get those olives going. Now once I get the olives going, I'm actually going to let it build up some money so that I can buy access to one of the other states. So I'm going to buy, I think I'm going to gain access to Burgundy. Now, Orléans, what were the other cities in that other... Is this the Central Val de Loire? Let's see. So there's Orléans, and actually there's quite a few cities. The olives are not in there, but Tours is there. Tours, Bugey. Bugey is nothing special. Tours is nothing special. Orléans, nothing special. Now Dijon, if you've played other... It has this private depot that is looking to take in evening attire. And if you look at the city, it basically has this weird demand for evening attire, which is an easy way to earn money. It'll generate large amounts of money. You just ship evening attire to it, they dump it in the private depot, and you make money. So it's a nice, easy way to make ample amounts of money. So let's see. I guess it doesn't really matter which way I go to build my second line, since I'm going to have to cut back into the first one anyway. So, all right. So we got there. We need 296. I got 130, but it is doable. It's got this nice little bridge that hops over, but once it hops over, it's pretty much smooth sailing all the way to Paris, where it can gain access to their delicious, delicious olives. I know. But olives are quite important and delicious, so why do you... Oh, you random breakdown. We've already got a maintenance building there. Okay, so things are going along quite nicely. You can see here the olives, they're already starting to build up. We got 32 olives instead of just the 16 that this farm holds. And it's got wine and wheat being stored, so it's actually doing quite well. And we can see here Paris is growing. They are happy. Do we have enough money to build our second? Nope, we need 296. We only got 263. I promise this is the last line I'm going to build for the time being, and then I'm going to buy access to one of those other two territories. I'm curious if it gives me new tasks, or if those are just the last two tasks to accomplish, is to gain access to those territories. Because to be honest, that doesn't seem like it's that extraordinary of a task list, because all of these tasks were relatively easy to accomplish, and at the beginning it said that this was a hard scenario, but to be honest, I found this to be a relatively easy scenario. I've gotten gold check marks except for boosting Normandy to 82,000, which I got a green check mark. But a check mark's a check mark, and I can get it, so I don't know. We'll see. Alright, we should have enough money. Let's build our second line, get our signals in. got that all good. Okay, now I'm going to run a couple of trains, including one that I'm going to put as an express. Just debating if I think I'm going to do an express. Okay. Between Paris and Le Mans, but I'm going to make that a passenger and mail only. So we'll do an express there, but then I'm also going to put in a couple of mixed trains. Where do I want to do that mixed? This one actually looks like it's a little better, so I'm going to do class 121. We're going to go between Paris and Le Mans. Then I'm going to pick another one. Oh. Where did it put me at? Between Le Mans and Paris. Okay, that one's basically taken passengers and mail too, so nobody wanted and that one's, it's automatic, so it could have taken anything. I guess they don't want bread. I mean, they do have enough bread. They don't want cloth, which I suppose does make sense because they're not big enough to want cloth yet. The only thing at this point they want: wood, meat, wine, wheat, wood. I do need to bring in wood. That's one thing I do not have. Alright, so let's do the little thing that I like to do. And expand our station there. And with this expansion, I'm going to run. I did tell you that was the last line I was going to run, and then I was going to... I can't access that. That is going to be an expensive runaround. Do I want to do that? I kind of feel like I do. So I will go ahead and bite the bullet, eat it. Boom. There it is. Build our second line, or at least get it in place. Alright, it's acting goofy on me. Why is that not? Oh, it's because, oh. There we go. Okay, so I need 167. I've got 40. But that will feed into there, and then I'll be able to, and actually that's nice because the supply station is right there. Then I can feed into Paris, although I might put another supply down here just so that it doesn't... I hate when a whole bunch of train lines run into one supply, supply tower, and then they all just back up around it, and then I have all the lines backed up. That just frustrates me. So let's see. Do I? You know what? I don't have a supply tower here, so I'm going to throw one in there. All right. How much do I need? 167. Almost there. There we go. That was super fast. Let's get our signals built. Got our signals built. We can build our... Oh, we can't build a supply tower. Now we can. Let's build our supply tower in here as well. Even though it does have that access to that other one, like I just said, I hate when they're all backed up into the same one. So here's, I'm going to use this west because it's going to be strictly a freight train. So it's going to be the west going from the logging here into Paris. That looks right. Make sure it's maxed out of number of rail cars. And then, all right, got cut off there, back. So I've got two trains now going from this logger into, yeah, we got the second train right there. Second train into Paris. Paris is all happy and all smiles. I don't know what this reserved is for. This site has been reserved for a special building. Oh, what special building can go in Paris, I wonder. All right. So, at this point, gain access to the central Vaudois, gain access to the area of Burgundy. They're both 1882. I am going to... I guess the question is, which plan do I want? Maybe I have to choose? I don't know. That's interesting. If you choose one or the other, does it change the number of tasks or which task you are assigned? It's a good question. I don't know. I've never played this game, obviously. I just bought it today, so... I've played Railway Empire before, obviously, but I've never played the French expansion. Oh, you know what? I was going to run. Let's do that. Let's run... let's see, what was I waiting on? I've already completely lost my train of thought. Paris is going, the Wood is coming in, Le Mans is going. Let's add a couple of trains, freight trains, from the warehouse into Le Mans, but I'm going to prioritize olives because we know that everybody kind of wants the olives at this point. So I'm going to prioritize olives. I'm not going to send olives to Nantes just yet. But you know what I might do? I was going to say I might send clothing into there, but at this point I'm not going to. They don't have a lot of excess clothing. They're basically using or shipping out what they're using, so I won't worry about it. I could expand it, but I kind of don't want to expand it at the moment. I sort of want to finish one of these tasks before I end this video. Now Burgundy, as you remember, this was Burgundy, right? Burgundy is 636,000. So I could go ahead and buy this area right now. I think I will, just to see what it is, if it changes the tasks or what's going on. So let's buy this area. Okay.
I see, as a man of high caliber, you are able to recognize the signs of the times.
I just bought it because it was cheaper.
These bunch of chickens in Paris are bothering themselves about anything and anyone, primarily about themselves, but never about the really important things, protecting France against their many enemies. The Prussians might have withdrawn, but don't you think that Bismarck will set his troops in motion at first opportunity? Fortunately, in addition to reasonable people like me, and you, there are other influential allies. Now, it matters to convince them of our aptitude.
Okay. What does that even mean? All right. Oh.
Bien, very well.
So it changed. It changed our task.
We start to attract attention with our success. Soon, we could surely be able to secure the borders of France.
That's awesome. We've already beat our first task in our new list.
In order to secure the right of passage, which will allow us to lay down our tracks to the eastern borders, I have pulled a few strings. In exchange for some favors among old friends, our path should be clear soon.
All right, so now we need to get evening attire to Dijon, deploy 16 express train. Oh my goodness. 16 express trains at the same time. You hear me laughing because I really hate express trains. It's so hard to keep them express and to get them going. And then deliver 50 loads of perfume to Lille. Alright, I'm going to pause it there and stop this video. The next video I will start working on this. That means getting some evening attire to Dijon. I got to find somebody that makes evening attire. I think you take silk plus, what is it? Silk plus clothing makes evening attire. So I got to get some clothing plus some silk and start making evening attire and then deliver it to Dijon. That will be interesting. And then perfume as well. So I got to find that. So this is actually a much tougher scenario than I thought. I thought it was going to be easy, but it is not indeed. It'll be interesting because I think I'm going to play it again at some future point, but I'm going to choose the other state, the central Val de Loire, and then see what the tasks are for that scenario and see how they differ from this one. But I'll do that at some later stage, and I might point that out to you. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Au revoir.